I mean, kind of if you go look and see sort of in Vancouver, you have people like Ross Beatty. In Perth, you have people like Ian Middlemas, kind of who have been extraordinarily successful. And I think if you look at the model, it's really, I think, the same thing all over again. Is you take an asset with reasonably low technical risk, you put in a strong management team, you put in the ability to raise capital, and you kind of, I think, just you don't make things any more complex than they need to be. Typically what you've seen guys do is pick up assets that are not economic in today's times, and essentially thinking that whenever the market prices rebound, like what BD did with Lumina Copper, which I think made 80 times of its IPO price for the investors that held on. So something like that, and what you saw was basically they picked up, I think, 5 different properties, each of which had proven geological characteristics. They capitalized them properly so they wouldn't have to sell out too early. They moved the assets along to the point where they were ready for production. And then as the market picked up, these were some of the more advanced and safe assets in the market, and then larger companies came along and picked them up. And that's essentially the play, I think, for anyone who wants to be successful. Guys that have gone about trying to drill, sometimes they'll have a huge discovery and it works out, but it's not what we call a systematic model. Typically people who have done well have taken assets that have reasonably low technical risk, are not economic at today's prices, and more important than anything, really put incredible management teams that understand what it takes to advance the asset, have capital discipline, communicate with the market very effectively so that investors are kept on side as things progress. And then, when you hit a good patch in terms of market momentum, you get out. And you don't hold on for too long. I think that's also a very important characteristic, because you see this is an industry which is run very much by entrepreneurs, and you see a lot of management teams kind of marry the asset lock, stock, and barrel, and there's an emotional attachment. As an entrepreneur myself, look, I certainly understand from that perspective, but unfortunately what happens is that money gets lost in the process. Because people hold on for too long, and then the window has passed, and then you're still sitting on this thing, and then nobody really wants it at that point.